Jai Shri Krishna. Welcome to Bhagavad Gita discussions. This is program number 17. We are now at chapter 11. We started chapter 11 in our last program. And at this stage, I want to invite our consultant, Pandit Vickramaditya Maharaj, to continue discussions. Panditji.
At the beginning of chapter 11, Arjuna had made a strange request. Even though he accepted Lord Krishna as God. But he made a strange request that he wanted to see the universal form. And Lord Krishna, to please Arjuna, showed him that universal form. And having seen that universal form, Arjuna was not prepared for what he really saw. You could literally take it to mean the man who saw tomorrow. He saw the end of the Mahabharata war before the war started. And at that point, we will begin. Omi chatvam darataratra putra sarve saheva vanipala sangai bhishma drona sutaputras tathaso sahasmadiye rapiyodamukyai vatrani te tvaramana vishanti dransakaralani bhayanakani kechidalagna dashanantareshu sandreshayante churanitairuttamangai. What he saw is that all the sons of Dhritarashtra, together with Bhishma, Drona, Karan, and all the soldiers of that army, they were rushing into the mouth of that universal form, and they were being crushed. And this frightened Arjuna. It was scary for Arjuna to witness. Yata nadinam vahavumbu vega samudrameva bimukha dravanti tatha tavami naraloka vira bishanti vatranya bibejwalanti. Just as the river after heavy rain rushes into the ocean, in the same way, these great warriors were rushing into the mouth of that universal form to be destroyed. Yata praditam jalanam patanga bishanti nashaya samreda vega tateva nashaya vishanti lokas tavapi vatrani samriddha vega. Those who were familiar with having to light lamp in the house, the moth would rush into this fire to be destroyed because he's attracted to it, not knowing the danger of it. In the same way, these warriors were attracted to this universal form and they were rushing into it only to bring about their destruction. Lehli yasigra saman samantal lokan samagran vadajay dwalandi teju bidapurya jagat samagram bastatva bhoga prapapanti vishnu. Devouring everything in its pathway. The ray, the glow that comes from you is filling up the entire space with this radiance, and it is burning. And here for the first time, Arjuna described Lord Krishna as O Vishnu. He now sees him in his true form. Having seen this form of Lord Vishnu, Arjuna now asks his 13th question. Akyagime ko bhavanugra rupo namostu te devar prasida Vegyatu me chami bhavanta madhyam nahi prajanami tava pravetam. Tell me, who are you? So terrible is this form of yours. I bow to thee, O Supreme One. Have mercy upon me. You see, I revert back to the beginning of chapter 11 when I said, be careful what you wish for. This is what Arjun wanted to see. And the Lord showed it to him, but he was not prepared to receive it. In the same way, as devotees of God, sometimes when people sit down to pray, they keep wishing for things and keep wishing for things. Are they really prepared to get what they wish for? Could they handle what they really want? So here he says, I do not know your purpose. Now this is two different Arjun.
Yeah.
Arjun knew Krishna on the battlefield as his charioteer. Now he's seeing Krishna as the universal form, witnessing the destruction of all the warriors. And yet he says, Nahi prajanami tava pravittam. I do not know what is your purpose.
What you intend to do.
Shri Bhagavan Uvach. Shri Bhagavan, Lord Krishna responds to him. Kalosmi loka kshayakre praviddo lokan samaharatu miha praveta hrite pitvam na bhavashanti sarave yeva stita pratyanakikeshu yodaha. He says, O Arjun, I am the all-devouring time. When you go back to chapter 10, there is a verse where he said, I am time that brings about the universal destruction. And now is the time, Arjun, for this event to take place. Even without you, O Arjun, these warriors will not survive this war. So he's clearly telling Arjun that this war is going to take place with Arjun or without Arjun.
Him. It doesn't depend on Arjun, on his decision.
That's right. This is his decision. This has nothing to do with Arjun. Now, as we go further, you will come across where he says, Oh Arjun, I am only using you in this war to give you the opportunity to earn fame for having destroyed these people. But they are going to be destroyed with you or without you. Tasmat amutishta yasholabhaswa jitva shatrun bhungshaya rajyam samredam mayaiveti nihita purvameva nimita matram bhava sabhya sachin. O Arjun, arise and obtain fame. It's just like, I mean, most people in Trinidad were active in sports at some time. And if you played cricket at a competitive level, regardless, you might even play for the West Indies, thank God.
In the current scenario.
Oh, thank God. But in whatever level of cricket that you played, you would have won to score 100.
Yeah.
If you're a bowler, you would want to at least pick up 5 wickets. So somewhere along the road, somebody is going to remember. The next generation, when you become an old man and you walk in the road, and somebody says, I remember him, man. Like the fellow scored 100 against us many years ago. This is what Lord Krishna is saying to Arjun. Arise and obtain fame.
Yeah.
Conquer the enemies and enjoy this unrivaled kingdom. By me, they have already been slain, Arjun. You are merely the outward cause. And here he uses the word Sabhyasachin. Sabhyasachin is a word that means Arjun could shoot with both left and right hand. What we say in cricket is ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous, yeah.
That's the word, the big word we use. Dronam cha bhishmam cha jayadlatam cha karanam tatanyanapi yoda viran maya hatastam jahima vyatishta yudhyasya jeta silane sapatnan. O Arjun, my command to you now, slay Drona. slay Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karan, and all these brave warriors who are already doomed by me. Now I want to emphasize something here. When this war was started, or was being prepared for, there were 4 people in that war that Arjun could never kill even on his best day. He could have never killed them on his best day. Karan, he could never kill Karan. He could never kill Jayadratha. Jayadratha had a boon, not Bhishma, drone. And yet, now Lord Krishna comes and he says to Arjun, you are going to destroy them because today they are doomed by me. I am going to bring about their death. So it has nothing to do with people saying this foolishness that the war is about 2 brothers fighting and killing each other for land and thing. That is not what the Mahabharata war was about, my friend. If you believe that, something is wrong with you. Lord Krishna destroyed them to give Arjun the fame of having destroyed them. And he says, do not be distressed with fear. Do not have that fear in your mind, Arjun. Fight and you will conquer these enemies in battle today. So this one verse clarifies all the misconceptions that people have about this Mahabharata war. Hearing this now, Sanjaya says to the king, Etatchuta vachanam keshavasya kritanjaliravepaman kiriti namaskritva bhuya evaha krishnam sagad bhita bhit pranamaya. Now, there is a verse, or there is a popular saying in Sanatan Dharma, that Vindyana indhanapaye sagara judayi nanira parayupasa kubera gara jofi pakshara gubira. You know what that means? That means if Ram is against you, you could live in the Vindhya mountain and you will never find a piece of firewood to light a fire. You would be able to live on a riverbank and you wouldn't find water to drink. And you would live in the house of Kubir, the Lord of Wealth, and you still wouldn't get food to eat. So once the Lord wills it to happen, we have to follow it. We may not like the decisions that has to be made, but I always hear people say, as individuals, we have a free mind and a free intellect. That is not true. That could never be true. Wahi hota hai jo manzoor khuda hota hai. If the Lord doesn't bless you, you have none of those things. Now we could debate that. We could debate that for years.
Stop there now. What gives rise to the Lord blessing you? Isn't it your actions?
No. Your past actions.
Yeah, well, actions, present or past.
Not your present, your past.
You see, because this is something I believe, I'm just interjecting here, that because there is this verse in Bhagavad Gita where Bhagwan says he's basically passive in that he does not participate in the sin or goodness of anybody.
Karma.
Right? Karma, right? So Bhagwan as the force or entity, or do we say also that karma itself is a natural law that has nothing to do with God?
Karma is natural.
Right? So no, you see, I think there is, in my mind, as we discuss this, and I'm sure it may be in the mind of others listening and viewing, it comes across that, okay, so is it that, can one then say that Bhagwan is against the Kauravas?
No.
He sided with the Pandavas. He's not.
If you go back, if you go back to chapter 9, there is a verse coming down to the end of chapter 9 where Lord Krishna says, there is none that I love.
Right, and none
and
I
there
hate.
is none that I hate.
Right.
But those who make the effort to strive to reach me, I am very dear to them and they are very dear to me. So the choice of making that
is the individual.
Hold on. It's only based on whatever karmas you have performed. When you read Ramayana, there is a verse in the Ramayana that says that only when the good karmas that we have done in the past is awakened in you, that we get the opportunity to go to satsang.
The point I want to first not debate but discuss is this statement of Sri Krishna that these people stand destroyed by him already. Right? What is the cause for them being treated as standing destroyed by God already? It's not a whim of Lord Krishna.
No.
But rather it's as a consequence of these individuals' actions.
Right?
Okay. No, that's just something I wanted to...
What people don't understand, people need to clearly get it in the system that we are here not because of our parents. We are here of the sanchita karma.
Right, the karmas of the past.
Right.
That are yet to be worked out.
We come here to work out that karma.
And also create new karma.
And then the mistake we make is rather than work out the sanchita karma, we have prarabdha karma. We keep piling up more on it. You know, like you go to work in your office and you have 3 files on your desk to deal with.
Okay.
Like Monday morning. And you say, man, look, you know what? 3 files? I ain't going to sit down here and waste 8 hours to deal with 3 files. I prefer to do 8 hours, do 100 files. So the file that is number 1 on Monday, what number it becomes on Friday? When 200 files more come on top of it. So rather than wipe out the 3 files that you have, which I call sanchita karma, we commit prarabdha karma and pile more on top of it. So it becomes harder and harder and harder. And when you reach down in chapter 16 of the Gita, then Lord Krishna will take a firm stand and say, if I feel sorry for them, I will try to help them.
Grace, the idea of grace.
Yeah.
Right? Now, what I mean, just pointing out here again, is clearly that it's not that Lord Krishna is taking a side.
He has never God has never taken a side.
That's in Hindu theology.
In
God
Hinduism,
doesn't take,
in Hinduism, I am not responsible for the good that people do.
Or the bad.
I am not responsible for the fruits of the karma that they get. That has nothing to do with me. That is Prakriti, nature.
So the fact that Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha and Karna and other brave warriors will all be killed is not because Sri Krishna has a desire to kill them.
No, absolutely not.
Right. Or a partiality to Arjun.
Nope, none at all. None at all. Because if you go back into the, I think it's the Yog Vasishtha, I might be corrected here. But in Yog Vasishtha, one of the discussions that took place was the 8 Vasus. When they, for wickedness. The Vasus were divine beings. Why would a divine being do something stupid? He has no reason to do anything stupid. They don't. But out of wickedness, they decide to steal the cow of Vasishtha. And he pronounced a curse on them, which eventually became, they were born to Ganga and they all died. One survived. The man who actually took the cow, he survived. He was Bhishma. And that conversation between Bhishma, well, he wasn't Bhishma then, and Lord Vishnu. He says, when I go on this earth and have to go through all this to see all this chaos and madness in this kingdom, how am I going to be liberated? Because I would have lost the opportunity to die at birth. He lost that opportunity. Right. Then Lord Vishnu tells him, he says, I will show my grace on you. I will take you. So Arjun was just a figurehead.
An instrument.
An instrument to get it done.
But the instrument was faltering.
Yes.
And that's where Krishna had to, Lord Krishna had to bring him back on track.
Arjun panicked. Because it goes against everything that Sanatan Dharma teaches. Sanatan Dharma teaches that elders is God.
I have a question for you.
We elders are God.
Okay, so elders are God even if they are if they are immoral?
Well, go and ask Prahalad. Prahalad could answer that question.
Prahalad we could argue, was ultimately responsible for his father's death.
His father was immoral. He took a stand.
Right.
You have, listen, in life.
He never disrespected him.
No.
Yeah,
He never disrespected his father. Get that very straight. But he saw what was going to happen in the future with his father still being alive. He never prayed to Lord Vishnu and said, come to me, O Lord, and kill.
Yeah, he never did.
Right. Hiranyakashipu had a boon. I will not die in the day, I will not die in the night. I will not die in the ground, I will not die in the sky. I will not die. All kind of crazy thing he asked for. What did Bhagwan do?
Satisfy all these boons, all these conditions, and kill him.
Bhagwan didn't come to kill Hiranyakashipu. He came to grant the boon of Hiranyakashipu, that he did not die in the day.
And to protect his
He did not die in his night. He didn't die by a weapon. He didn't die in the sky. He didn't die on the earth. And then we go back to chapter 4 of the Gita. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam.
So when Bhagwan
comes, it's a twofold.
Right. And it's not where he has a desire to destroy somebody or a desire to uplift somebody. It's all dependent on the actions of these people. Each party.
Ravan says he will not die at the hand of a celestial being. No celestial going to kill him. And Brahma, who granted him the boon, knew what was going to happen. He said, what about a human being or an animal? He had already conquered earth.
Yeah.
If you conquer earth, who you afraid on earth? Nobody.
His
no problem. Let you kill me.
Arrogance came in there, yeah.
So the arrogance took over. His karma got clouded. And when that got clouded...
Well, he created his karma by taking that decision.
But whatever caused the karma is not Bhagwan.
Yeah. It's the person.
He created it from his Sanchita karma.
So I think for our viewers, we can move forward from there. When Krishna Bhagwan tells him, kill these people, it's not because Bhagwan has a desire for them to be dead.
No, their time to die had come.
Yeah.
And he was there to liberate them. You know, before we continue, there's a beautiful verse in the Ramayana. When you're reading early in Balkan, when I say early in Balkan, after Ram Janam, I hear many people, even when I was growing up, people used to say that if Ram was a hunter and he used to shoot, who used to shoot? We should do with the animal when he shoot it.
Yeah, they're trying to make a case that Sri Ram had meat.
Right. They're making, I have heard pundits say that.
Yeah.
Right? And they don't, you see, I always said, and I stand by that, all our scriptures are coded. And if you don't understand the code, you're going to misinterpret it. Now we say, J Vividarama Vanake Mari. Te Tanu Tajasuda Loka Siddhari. He didn't kill the animal to eat it. He killed the animal to liberate it. And the verse before that says, Pavanamriga Marahi Jiyajani. Pavanamriga means an animal that resides in the jungle. And in trying to save its own life, it gets injured. Imagine a lion running along a deer. You think the deer studying, look at her break bottle, the limit don't go in it, I'll get choked. He run through that break bottle like nothing. He run through a branch and a branch scrape him or cut him. And if you mind dogs, there's a time when the dog becomes infected with worms. And it's not a nice sight. Those were the animals that he killed. And he didn't kill it to eat it. He killed them to liberate them. The Ramayana itself is very clear on that. So people with their own narrow vision, that's how they will see it. But that is not how it's supposed to be said. So Sanjaya says to the king, having heard this beautiful speech of Keshav, now Arjun calls him Vishnu, right? Sanjaya calls him Keshav. Arjun clasped his hands and he was trembling, prostrating himself, and in a voice that is filled with fear. He was overwhelmed with fear. And he responds to the Supreme Lord by saying, Arjuna Vach, Stana Hrishikesh Tau Prakritya Jagat Prahish Yat Nurajyate Cha Rakshasi bhitani dasho dravanti sarave namasyanti naseda sangha. The world, Arjuna says, rejoices, seeing this form of yours, whilst the Rakshas, the demons, they are scattered in fear. All the siddhas, all the celestial beings, they are bowing to you. Tasmatina namiran mahatman gadiyase brahmanoyapyakikatre ananta deshe jaganivasa tvamaksharam sarasat tatparam yat. And why should they not bow to you, O Great One? You are the cause of this entire creation to come into being, O Lord of all lords, O home of the universe. You are that imperishable Brahman. You are the one who is being and non-being. You are both Sagun and Nirgun, visible and invisible. You are that supreme. Tvamadideva Purusha Puranas Tvamasya Veshwasya Paramanidhanam Vetasi Vedyam Cha Param Cha Dhama Tvaya Tatam Vishwamananta Rupa. You are the ancient Purush. See, this is why last week when we were talking about the Devatas don't know God, even though they reside in God, because they came after God. Here the Gita describes Lord Krishna as Adi Purush.
Primal deity.
Even before the world was created, he existed. So he is the cause for everything to come into play after that. You are the supreme abode. The supreme abode means that is the place where all life has to go, to the supreme abode. That is where we all originated from. And because of the different types of karma we have performed, we are now reaping the fruits of the karmas we have performed. You are that supreme one. You are the knower. And you are that which needs to be known. This entire universe is pervaded by you, O infinite form.
Pandit, at this stage, we need to take our break at verse 38, and then we will resume. Do stay with us. Jai Shri Krishna. Welcome back to this program on Bhagavad Gita. At this stage, we resume our discussions on chapter 11. We continue from verse 38. Panditji.
Recapping verse 38, Arjuna, this is what Sanjaya is explaining to the blind king Dhritarashtra, that you are Adi Purush. You are the knower, and you are that which needs to be known. You are the supreme abode, O infinite one. Vayudayam Agni Varun Shashanka Prajapate Tvam Prapita Mahashta Namo Namaste Yastu Sahasra Kritya Punashta Bhuyopi Namo Namaste. Here he describes, Sanjaya describes what Arjuna is saying, that you, O Lord, you are Vayu, you are Yam, you are Agni, you are Varun, you are Chandrama, you are Prajapati, you are the great grandfather of this universe. Salutation, salutation to you 1,000 times, again and again. Many years ago, there was a bhajan we used to sing. Shiva Shankar Bhole Bhale Tumko. With the next line. Lakho pranam tumko, lakho pranam. This is it. Lakho pranam. When you sit to do puja, you bow to God one time and you expect to meet God. Here, thousands and thousands of times, Arjun keep repeating it over and over, and this is what makes it firm. Repeated action, repeated worship. When you get initiated by the Guru,
practice.
When you get initiated by the Guru never tells you, say your Guru mantra one time. Just give you an exorbitant figure. I remember when I was small, before I could write Hindi and know Hindi, there's a Pandit from Karatal, Pandit Radhakrishnan. He was from India originally.
Okay.
When he come maybe to do puja, first thing he should ask for is a pen and a new copybook. You have to have that waiting for him. And he will write in Hindi, very nice, neat, Ram Nam. Right? And he give you the copybook. You say, you know what I write? No. You say, you have to know what I write. But I want you to fill this copybook with what I write. So next time I come to do puja, I must look at it. So he train you to write Ram Nam, Ram Nam, Ram Nam, Ram Nam.
A child today go think his lines.
You go think it's penance. Well, it was penance. But the point is, by repeating it over and over, you become drawn to it. You become attached to it. Nama purastadatta prishtataste namastute saravata sarava eva ananta vidyamita vikramastam saravam samapnoti tatosi saravaha. That's a nice word in that verse, Vikram. Nice. See, so my name in all the books.
Excellent.
Ananta vidyamita vikramam. Powerful man. That's not serious.
We can't say your name in the book.
That's joke.
Because, no, because the same point. It's not your name in the book. The name existed before you.
You agree with me now then? So finally you agree with me. Okay, good. Once you agree with me now, it takes you 7 verses to agree with me, but that's okay. Salutations to you before, salutations to you behind, salutation to you in every direction. And now this is something. Most mandirs that are built, I don't know about India. I will never debate anything in India. Most mandirs built in Trinidad, in America, that I have seen, all the murtis are placed with their back to a wall. So you could stand in front of the murti and do your arati, and they have little steps in front where you have your diya and it lighting. Most mandirs are like that. My mandir was never built like that. My mandir was built so that salutation on every side.
So you could do parikrama. You could do
circumambulation, you go right along it. Now, people when they do puja home, and the pandit tell them circumambulate, they stand up in one spot and spin around. You are turning your back to the Bedi. Your back should never be to the Bedi. It should be that you go around it. So most people when they do puja, they sit down in the corner of a house to do puja. When we had puja home, it used to be in the middle of the living room. We clear out the whole living room and it's in the middle. So when arati has to be done, everybody could go around and do it.
Yeah.
When we doing yagya, when they're doing arati, and they circumambulate the Bedi, your back is never to the Bedi. So this is where it came from. Infinite in might and immeasurable in strength. That is the Supreme Lord. You pervade all, and therefore you are all. Everything is you. Now, Pandit, you agree with me now? That you have no independent thought? You still want to debate that? Let me don't debate that.
I mean, I have no independent thought. I ultimately determine my destiny.
No, you don't.
We'll have to debate that. Because if I don't have a free will.
You don't. That's a misconception that people give. Freedom of thought and freedom of speech. That's a term people make up.
So what are you saying? At the point of my birth, my death is already destined?
Of course.
So how did Adi Shankaracharya change from 16 years to 32?
Oh, hold on. You're not Adi Shankara. He was the incarnation of Lord Shiva. You are not. the willpower that...
We will have to agree, and this is the beauty of Sanatana Dharma. We'll have to disagree with this area and move on.
Of course,
I believe that I have the choice to make as to what ultimately I may seek to become.
Okay. Let me put it simpler to you. When you were born, or when any one of us were born, and they check the patra for we, the patra gives us a lifespan. All the patras give you a lifespan for each one of the rasi. But the last line that is written at the end of every rasi is Age Parameshwar Jani. Only God knows.
Correct.
Right. But I am living in a country where there are certain areas, like long ago in the 60s and 70s when people go to America, when you clear customs in America and you clear the airport, what's the first thing they should tell you? Do you have any idea?
I don't know.
Do not go to the Bronx.
Okay.
Keep far from the Bronx. Because you're sure to live out the day. There are places like that in Trinidad.
All right. Crime hotspots and so we don't know the whole country like a crime hotspot.
Well, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Nobody can see it and only the victim seeing it. Recently I read in the papers where a 71-year-old pensioner get killed in Freeport. And that had turned the authorities' mind. When you have, I mean, this mightn't be the right forum for this, but when you have a commissioner of police who say, I will bring down crime by June, and when June crime escalates to the point, she brave enough to tell the press, I have nothing to say to the press, I want no conversation with all you. I mean, something really wrong in this place. So he says to,
leave that here. Let's leave that there.
Leave that as it is.
It's not the
you pervade all, and therefore you are all. So if God is in me, whatever decision that I use in your phrase that I make, right? Or whatever I want to do, I am doing it because of that Lord in me who wills it that it should be done.
No, but look at verse 39, right? Is it 39? No, sorry. I want to take you back to where, okay, yeah, 36.
That's a bad number when you're playing play.
Serious?
Yeah.
But basically what he's saying, the Rakshas, their attitude to God is to flee from him.
Run from him.
Right? And that's their choice. God is making them do that.
Bring it on, right? Come on.
Similarly, those who are devotees, their attitude of chanting his names, virtues and glories,
right,
is from an innate position. It's not God making them do that. That's their choice.
Go ahead, bring it on.
Agreed or no? Now I'm asking, is it a discussion, right?
So where does the Rakshas get his strength from?
The Rakshas, all strength ultimately comes from God.
Right.
So they've performed good actions, they have gained power.
So the good actions that they perform give them the power that they have.
But then their mind become corrupt.
But then the very scripture, the very God that gives them the power, turns wrong and says to them, Nahi ko asa janama jagamahi. Never was anyone born in this world that power cannot corrupt. Getting power is not the problem. What you do with it, it corrupts you.
And what you do is based on your choice.
Listen, it's not who corrupt you. It corrupts you.
Okay.
It's a it that has no life. That is what corrupts. Imagine you have life and that which corrupts you has no life. Who more powerful? It. We could debate that. We take a whole program.
No, I think this is a question. Later after we will do a program on
verses.
Yes.
That will controversial verses if you want to use that word. We could debate it.
I won't say it's controversial. It's differing perspectives.
Okay, we'll choose all the verses and the devotees. If you're reading your Gita and you feel there's a verse you want us to debate with you, feel free to call us and let us know.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we're not going to say anybody's right or anybody's wrong. It's about building knowledge, and ultimately, people's perspectives are formed based on their own experiences and aptitude and so.
Now, let me ask you one question before we proceed now. If I associate with God, I am associating with Him physically. Will I make mistakes?
You see, yes. Look at the case of Arjun. He is in the physical presence of Bhagwan. And what happens?
Because
he
of
loses his sense of direction
Right.
and perspective.
But
and
he didn't lose it because he was in the presence of Bhagwan.
No, I'm saying he is in the presence and it happens. Even though, okay, let me rephrase. Even though he's in the presence of Sri Krishna, the physical presence, it did not prevent the occurrence of his becoming deluded then.
All right. So let me take 50 years before the war. He was still in the presence of him.
When I say 50 years,
Okay, before the war.
Point.
20 years before the war. I'm just using a time.
Yeah, okay.
Human time.
Yeah.
He was always with them. He would always visit them. They all grew up together.
Right, but remember in Gita itself, he did not immediately in all these, okay, I think he apologizes for that, for the times when he laughingly spoke to
Well,
Krishna
that's why I asked you
Bhagwan.
that question.
Yeah, where he does not see Krishna Bhagwan for who he is.
Right.
Right?
So this is what the next verse is going to tell you. Saketi matva prasabam yaduktam he Krishna he Yadava he Saketi ajanata mahimanam tavedam maya pramadat pranayena vapi yacca vaha sardam asatkritosi vihara shayyasana bhojaneshu eko tavappatyuta tat samaksham takshamaye tvamaham prameyam. Now, having realized that this is Lord Vishnu, Arjun, Sanjaya says, now says to him, when we were growing up, rash decisions, I would carelessly or in carelessness, I will call you, O Krishna, O Yadav, O friend. Right? Looking at you as a mere friend, ignorant of your greatness.
Yeah.
So Arjun is admitting that even though the divine is present amongst us, because of ignorance, we do not recognize it. Moha janita sansai sabaharana. That doubt which exists in the mind, which is born out of ignorance, only when we free ourselves from that ignorance, then we get the vision of the Supreme. You understand?
Yeah.
Nice, you're coming around.
And how Tulsidas say again?
You asking me Ramayana. I'm not
Yeah,
a Ramayana. You're a Ramayana expert. You.
No. Bando pratham mahishur charana.
Moha
Janit sansai
You remember half the
sabaharana.
line. Okay, good. Nice. That's it. Balkan. Bandau pratama mahi suracharana. Moha janita sansai sabaharana.
Wonderful verse.
Yeah. In whatever way I may have insulted you, in joke, in play, while we were sitting, while we were having meals, O Achyutam, forgive me.
Forgive me.
Only go back to chapter 2 now, verse 7. Man, I could find that faster than you, man.
Your fingers cool.
Your fingers cold?
Chapter 2, verse 7.
Karapanya dosha prahat swabhava prichami dvam saravasanamudacheta yatre yasyanishchitam brohitaname shishyaste hamshadimatvam prapananam. What is the link between chapter 2 and chapter 11? That is the link. That is the verse, is the link. My mind is weighed down. My understanding is confused about what is duty.
Right.
I implore you, save me. You are the one to rescue me. And here the verse says, forgive
me.
Unless you don't admit to yourself you're wrong, you cannot get help. If you cannot admit you're wrong, it's only one thing happening to you, you know. You're arrogant. And arrogance is what caused all the problem in the Ramayana. Against all advice, Ravan went and do what he had to do.
Yeah.
But you see, we are saying that Ravan made his own decision to do that. Right? But Ravan also knew who Sita was. And I don't know where people get this misconception that Ravan kidnapped Sita from the forest. There was no Sita in the forest, my friend. I don't know which Ramayana you read that in. There was no Sita in the forest. There are 3 Sitas in the Ramayana. One that merged into Ram, one that merged into fire, and then the tamasic form that appeared for Ravan to bring about his death. Ravan knew who she was. And the only way Ram will kill me, I have to do something to aggravate Ram. And that is what he did to aggravate him. Bayahu Rosharana Ravanamara. When Ram flung into that fit of rage, rage is the problem. He killed Ravan. We could go into all this debate if you want, Now,
It will take us off the...
it will not only take us off, it will take us the rest of our life. We'll get bald head on screen every week. You'll see 1 or 2 hair dropping out, and we'll get balder and balder.
Okay.
And we still won't finish.
That's better.
Right. So he says, I implore you, O immeasurable one, forgive me.
Forgive me.
Pitasi lokasya characharasya tvamasya pujasya gurur gariyan natvat samostabhyadika kuronyo loka trayepya pratim prabhava.
Wonderful verse. Yeah.
That you are the father of this world, moving and unmoving. You are the mother of this world, moving and unmoving. You are the greatest guru. None exists who is equal to you, and none exists that could excel you. O unequal power. Twameva mata chapita twameva. That is twameva bandhushya. You have to first recognize God as something more powerful than you. When you recognize God as something more powerful than you, then you have to mold him now how you want him. Then he becomes bandhu. Then he becomes sakha. Then he becomes related to you. Then he becomes your friend. But first you have to recognize him for the divine power that he is. And then you mold him. Tasma pranamya pranidhaya kayam prasadaye tvamahisha medyam piteva putrasya sakeva musakya priya priharya hiyadeva sodam. I bow to you, prostrating my body to you. I implore you, O Lord, forgive me. Forgive me how? As a father would forgive a son, as a friend would forgive a friend, and as a person will forgive their spouse. Adrishta puravam rishitosmi drishtva bhayena cha pratyatitam manomi tadeva me darshadeva rupam prasida devesh jagadnivasa. I am happy, Arjun says. Why? Because I have gotten the opportunity to see that which was never seen before. So that makes me happy. But my mind is filled with fear. Even though I am happy, I still have fear. Show me that form. Have mercy upon me, O abode of the universe. So even though he's happy to see the universal form, he cannot keep up to that standard.
Yeah.
You see, now this is an interesting thing in material world. All parents want their child to go to this so-called prestige college. You could pull a string and get in. But you can't cope with the work. You can't cope with that. So your whole 5 years in that school, I'm not going to say 7 years, your 5, because you wouldn't reach A level, your 5 years in that school going to be wasted. Because you will never be up to that level. And it is a great disadvantage to our children. Everybody have a capability. I've always said that everybody is born. Those I have said something years ago. Had I known that the government of this country was going to give people freedom to bring in motorcar like crazy, right? Pay down $10 and you're driving out with a car, man. Foreign news. I would have learned straightening and painting. Because with the amount of cars we have now, I'm bound to get hooked. You understand?
Yeah.
You see, but that's not for me. I am not for that. So even if I open a spray painting shop, I still can't do it. It's not for me. I'm not for that level. He says, that is what I want. I want to see that form that I am accustomed with.
Right. Form of Vishnu Bhagwan.
That form I want to see. Kiritinam gadinam chakrahasta vichami tvam dashtumaham tateva tenaiva rupen chaturbhujena sahasrabaho bhava vishwamurti. He says, I want to see you as I am accustomed seeing you, with the weapons of Lord Vishnu. Although you are the 1,000-arm one, I can't handle this 1,000-arm form. And this is one of the mistakes that people make. When I say people, I'm not talking Hindus, not talking anybody else's religion. People make this mistake, not understanding my religion. Mm-hmm. You ridicule it, right? You ridicule it, not understanding it. But when you understand it, you will come back to it. You mightn't make it in this birth, but in the next one, you're coming back for it. And Bhagavan Uvaj, Shri Bhagavan Uvaj, Maya prasannev tavarjanedam rupam param darashitamatma yogat tejo mayam veshwamanantamadhyam yaname twadanye nanadrishta purvam. I have shown you this form, Arjuna, through my grace. This supreme form, by my yoga power, is resplendent, universal, infinite, primeval, which none but you has seen. Now, this is a verse that we got into big arguments with some Gita scholars. Mm-hmm. And they are saying that that verse is not true. Because Bhishma saw the universal form. Sanjaya saw it. Drone saw it. When Lord Krishna went into the palace.
Yeah, to stop the war. To act as a mediator.
As a mediator. Didn't he show the universal form?
May not have been the exact form.
It is the exact form. It is not the universal form.
Okay.
So, let's debate the verse.
How do we rationalize it?
How could you rationalize Lord Krishna saying, you are the only one to see this, Arjun? Let me attack your brain too much. And you're correct. What they saw was the universal form. What Arjun saw, only he saw it. The universal form in action.
Yeah. Because they would not have seen the Kauravas being destroyed. And
no. They just saw the universal form.
Yeah, but passively.
Right.
Yeah.
He saw it in action. Mm-hmm. And that is what frightened him. Be careful what you wish for. Na veda yagya jnana naiva dane na chakriya bhirana tapo birugrai evam arupa shakya aham riloke Dranstum twadanyena kuru pravira. O Arjuna, neither by the study of the Vedas, nor by yajnas, nor by gifts, nor by rituals, nor by severe penance, can this form of mine be seen in the world of men. Only you saw it. Nothing can make anybody else see this. You could do all the japa you want, you're not going to see the universal form. Do all the penance you want, you're not going to see it. This is not something for people to see. This is something that is going to test your faith. It's going to rock you at your foundation.
As it did Arjun.
Yeah. Mati vyata macha vimura bhavo drishta rupam gora mediam pamedam Vyapeta priyamana punastvam tadeva me rupamidam prapashya. Do not be afraid, Arjuna. Do not be bewildered by what you are seeing here. This terrible form of mine. Free yourself from fear, Arjuna. And you will see me as you want to see me. Back to my original, the form that you know.
Form there.
Don't have no fear in your mind. And that is one of the things that even when we send our children off to school, the first day in secondary school, have no fear. You were trained for this. Go on, adapt. Right? Go on, adapt. And if they are courageous enough to adapt, they will fit in. If they're not courageous to adapt,
difficult for them.
It will be difficult. That whole time would be a time of penance for them.
So here Arjuna now sees the forearm form Chaturbhuj, and Panditji, at this stage we have to conclude this program.
Okay.
We have come to the end of this program where Bhagwan is continuing in conversations with Arjunji. To all our sponsors, we want to say many thanks. If you have any questions, comments or suggestions, remember you can email us, or rather you can WhatsApp us at 784-9880, or you can call Pandit Vikramji directly at 652-1043. As we conclude, we pray that the blessings of Sri Krishna will be with us all. Until next time, Jai Sri Krishna.